With the WINN FM News, I am Kevin Brown. Our top stories: Caribbean Border Control officers complete CSME attachment program in Guyana. Building bankable businesses, a new financial literacy program for entrepreneurs in St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis marks Inter-American Day Against Illicit Firearms Trafficking at OAS. Missing girl in Guyana found dead in hotel pool triggering protests. Sexual misconduct allegations rock St. Lucia police force. Internationally, tensions rise between India and Pakistan. Now, the details. The second leg of the CARICOM Border Control Officer Attachment Program successfully concluded in Georgetown, Guyana, providing invaluable exposure and training to officers from several Caribbean member states. Facilitated by the CARICOM Secretariat's Single Market and Trade Directorate under the Skilled Workers Program (SWP, the week-long in-country activity from April 7th through 11th, 2025 brought together participants from Antigua and Barbuda, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Grenada. The program aimed to deepen understanding of the CARICOM single market and economy processes and enhance the officers' practical skills to support member states in implementing CSME policies and decisions taken by the communities, organs, and bodies. During their time in Guyana, the officers engaged with a diverse range of stakeholders, gaining insights into critical areas such as trade in goods, port authority operations, immigration and customs procedures, legal frameworks, security protocols, and regulation of animal imports and livestock trade. These sessions equipped participants with a broader understanding of the operational and regulatory environment necessary for effective border control within the CARICOM region. A highlight of the program was a dedicated day at the CARICOM Secretariat where the officers had the opportunity to interact with technical experts and learn about the roles of customs administrations in regional border control. Topics covered included air transport services across CARICOM, pre-clearance mechanisms, migration challenges, and development in the services sector integral to the free movement of skilled workers. The CARICOM Skilled Workers Program, supported financially by the 11th European Development Fund (EDF) through the Strengthening Framework for CARICOM Integration and Cooperation process, ensures that 3 border control officers from each participating member state receive this essential training to further regional integration. Reflecting on her experience, Kadian Banton, head of the National Plant Protection Organization (NPPO) at the Ministry of Agriculture in St. Kitts and Nevis, emphasized the importance of the program for her role.
Throughout this program, we have been able to visit the ports here in Guyana, and it was very informative. Today's session in particular was very important for me as the head of the NPPO because I got to get a presentation from Mr. Sean Barr regarding the pre-clearance, and that is something that we definitely need to see in the region as we aim towards the 25 by 25 agenda. Some of the most common plant quarantine issues that we see is non-compliance. We have persons that are not aware of the procedures as it relates to moving plants and animal products internationally or even regionally. So what we find is a lot of persons, they travel and they want to take back agricultural items. For example, they had a fruit that they liked and they want to take it back to the region, or they want to take it back to St. Kitts and plant it, not understanding the implications that might have on the agricultural sector. For livestock, we do find persons are more inclined to be compliant as opposed to plants. Persons don't understand that plants also have restrictions as it relates to moving them across borders. I think forums like this is important because I think history has taught us that segregation has never worked in the Caribbean. So to come and to see that we are moving towards integration is definitely a good thing.
The program's success not only highlights the strides taken towards regional cooperation, but also stresses the ongoing need for education and compliance regarding regulations that protect the Caribbean's agricultural and economic interests. As integration advances, the skills and advocacy cultivated through such initiatives are vital for overcoming challenges and strengthening the CARICOM single market and economy. Small business owners and entrepreneurs in St. Kitts and Nevis now have a valuable opportunity to improve their financial skills and grow their businesses through the new Building Bankable Businesses Financial Literacy Program launched on April 24, 2025. This 6-week training program aims to help business owners manage their operations more effectively and increase their chances of securing financing. The Honorable Samuel Duggins, Minister of Entrepreneurship et al., shared that this program is close to his heart as he understands firsthand the struggles of building a small business. He stated that the government has already assisted over 300 businesses in obtaining financing, but there are still challenges to overcome. The program is designed to break down those barriers and ensure every entrepreneur has the support they need to succeed.
This initiative is not just a training session, it's a gateway to clarity, a gateway to confidence, and a gateway to capital. It's an investment in the people who keep our economy thriving, the small business owners who open early, who close late, and who carry the weight of their families and their communities on their shoulders. We understand the struggle here. We've listened to your frustration. We know that access to financing has long been one of the greatest hurdles for most MSMEs. And we are not sitting idly by. Through this program and this partnership, we are creating a practical, supportive, and inclusive roadmap for our businesses to attain success. This program is about more than information. It's about transformation. It's about equipping our entrepreneurs, not just with who have great ideas, but with financial tools, knowledge, and the preparation to make those ideas bankable, fundable, and ultimately sustainable. And we are not just keeping this locked in the offices, nor are we limiting it to the boardrooms. We are indeed taking this to the people.
Permanent Secretary Delreen Taylor described the program as a bold step to help entrepreneurs achieve financial stability.
Small businesses matter. They drive employment, innovation, and economic diversification. Yet, despite their potential, many are unable to access the capital they need to scale, often due to poor financial management or a lack of understanding about how to engage with financial institutions. The Building Bankable Business program is designed to tackle this challenge head-on.
She said it will teach essential topics like budgeting, managing cash flow, reading financial statements, and handling debt.
It aims to provide entrepreneurs with the financial literacy needed to understand and navigate the often complex world of finance. By doing so, we are not only improving their financial knowledge of the business owners, but also enhancing their ability to present their business as viable candidates for loans and investments. This initiative addresses the root causes of financial exclusion, particularly for micro and small businesses that face rejection from banks due to the lack of documentation, poor credit scores, or inconsistent cash flow. In light of all these realities, the ministry continues to emphasize the importance of building stronger and more resilient public-private partnerships, and we are pleased to announce a strategic partnership with the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank. These partnerships will be more critical, not just to help businesses weather current challenges, but to ensure they are positioned to innovate, expand, and compete globally. This partnership will also break down barriers by focusing on more inclusive and flexible evaluation criteria for accessing building businesses' bankability. This also means that even if a business has been previously denied credit based on traditional lending metrics, this program will offer them a second chance.
The training will also focus on the wellness and personal financial health of entrepreneurs, recognizing that a healthy business leader is key to a healthy business.
The curriculum will cover core financial concepts such as budgeting, cash flow management, understanding financial statements, and strategies for debt management that would fundamentally guide businesses on how to develop sound financial strategies for long-term growth and sustainability. Sessions will also incorporate wellness and personal financial health, recognizing that a healthy entrepreneur is essential to a healthy business. Participants will also receive hands-on support in understanding how to present their business in a way that appeals to financial institutions. This includes mastering the documentation required to apply for loans, understanding what banks look for in applicants, and developing a financial plan that reflects the true potential of their business. The training sessions will be facilitated by financial experts who will provide practical insights into everyday financial management. Entrepreneurs would learn how to use financial tools to streamline their operations, make informed decisions, and set achievable goals. Upon completion of the program, participants will be required to meet specific program completion requirements, including regular attendance, active participation, submission of required assignments, and satisfactory demonstration of learning objectives. Only those who successfully meet these requirements will receive a certificate of completion. We require full engagement and commitment from all participants. This is a hands-on, result-driven program. Participants are not just expected to learn, they are expected to apply what they learn to real business scenarios and decision-making. The ministry and our partners are equally committed to delivering a high-impact program.
The program will also guide participants on how to prepare the documents banks need and how to present their business plans to lenders. The support is essential because many small businesses are often turned down for loans due to missing paperwork or poor credit. The ministry is partnering with the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank to offer flexible loan evaluation criteria, providing more entrepreneurs with opportunities. David Lake, Group Commercial Head of the National Bank, expressed the bank's strong support for this program. He encouraged business owners to take advantage of the training, stating that the bank would work closely with the ministry to ensure that more entrepreneurs gain access to financing. The bank views this initiative as a means to support the growth of both businesses and the community.
By joining forces with the ministry and other partners, including the Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee Corporation, we aim to amplify the impact of this initiative, ensuring that more business owners across our federation can benefit from these critical resources. The program's objective, and I quote, to equip entrepreneurs with essential skills, improve loan readiness, and support the growth of thriving businesses are vital to navigating the demands of today's dynamic economy. As National Bank continues to grow and evolve, we remain steadfast in our commitment to ensuring that our customers and communities grow right alongside us. The trust placed in us by the people of St. Kitts and Nevis is reflected in the sustained growth of our portfolio. We deeply value this trust and take seriously our responsibility to give back through meaningful support for customer education and financial literacy initiatives like this one. A word to our entrepreneurs and aspiring business owners. I urge you to seize this opportunity with both hands. Invest in your financial education, nurture your business ideas, and take full advantage of the resources provided by the ministry through this outstanding program. The knowledge and skills you acquire will lay a solid foundation for businesses to thrive and bear fruit in the future to come.
Entrepreneurs interested in joining the program can apply online at www.bankablebiz.com. The application process is straightforward, but it requires submitting basic business documents including a plan, financial projections, and identification. The ministry is prepared to support applicants in every stage. The Building Bankable Businesses Financial Literacy Program is a key initiative designed to empower small businesses in St. Kitts and Nevis by helping entrepreneurs improve their financial knowledge and access capital. It supports economic growth and creates more opportunities for long-term success. The Building Bankable Businesses Financial Literacy Program opens doors to a stronger, more inclusive business community across the islands. On April 23, 2025, the Organization of American States, OAS, commemorated the Inter-American Day Against Illicit Manufacturing of and Trafficking in Firearms, a solemn occasion established to raise awareness and galvanize regional cooperation against the scourge of illegal firearms production and trafficking. The annual observance serves as a critical reminder of the collective responsibility to build safer, more peaceful communities by actively preventing violence driven by illicit arms. Representing the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis during the observance, Augustine Scarrett, Minister Counselor and Alternative Representative to Her Excellency Jacinta Henry Martin, Ambassador Permanent Representative to the OAS, delivered poignant remarks highlighting the acute challenges posed by illegal firearms within the Federation and fully endorsing the call for comprehensive collaborative action.
We are assembled together to commemorate the Inter-American Day Against the Illicit Manufacturing of and Trafficking in Firearms. This day, observed on April 5 since 2019, serves as a sobering reminder of the devastating impact of firearms on our societies. It calls us to action.
Scarrett began issuing a call to collective vigilance.
My delegation wants to address this issue with a particular focus on its impact on our beloved nation, St. Kitts and Nevis. Our Twin Island Federation is known for its stunning natural beauty, rich history, and vibrant culture. However, like many nations in the Caribbean, we are grappling with the serious challenge of gun violence.
Scarrett painted a candid picture of the menace wrought by illegal firearms, emphasizing how these weapons inflame criminal activity, undermine peace, and threaten citizen safety.
The illegal entry of firearms into our communities fuels criminal activity, disrupts our peace, and threatens the safety of our citizens. The statistics paint a troubling picture. Illegal firearms are used in homicides, robberies, and gang-related violence. The violence not only claims lives, but also instills fear, erodes trust, and hinders our progress.
Despite these challenges, the Minister Counselor acknowledged notable progress in 2025.
Fortunately, 2025 has so far seen a significant and much welcomed reduction in this reprehensible plague. And law enforcement, along with the citizens at large, must be commended for their part in keeping our streets safer than they had been in recent times.
He underscored the life-saving importance of seizing illegal firearms.
Every illegal gun seized represents a potential life saved, a community protected, and a step towards a more secure future.
Scarrett stressed the complexity of illicit firearms trafficking, noting that since St. Kitts and Nevis does not manufacture firearms domestically, the weapons inevitably originate beyond their borders. Herein lies the fundamental necessity for intensified regional and international cooperation.
The problem of illicit firearms is complex and multifaceted. Since we do not manufacture any of them, these weapons all originate from outside our borders, highlighting the importance of regional and international cooperation.
He called for strengthened border controls, improved intelligence sharing, and united efforts with neighboring countries to dismantle trafficking networks.
We must strengthen our border controls, enhance intelligence sharing, and work collaboratively with our neighbors to disrupt the networks that traffic these deadly weapons. We also appeal to the countries of origin to assist us in stemming the flow. The supply needs to be cut off, and the suppliers need to be held accountable to the extent that it is possible. We must all garner the political will to do so.
His address took a firm stance on accountability, drawing parallels with other illicit trades.
Just as the players in other illicit trafficking, drugs, human beings, etc., are targeted, so must the actors in all stages of the illegal firearms trade be embattled as well.
On the domestic front, St. Kitts and Nevis continues to bolster the legal framework and law enforcement capabilities while emphasizing prevention through social programs. Skerritt detailed a multi-pronged national strategy aimed at addressing the root causes of crime and violence and closing entry points for illegal firearms.
On the national front, we continue to strengthen our legislative framework, enhance the capacity of our law enforcement agencies, and invest in programs that address the root causes of crime and violence. These include enhanced border security, implementing stricter measures to prevent the entry of illegal firearms through our ports and coastlines, community policing, building a stronger relationship between law enforcement and the communities to foster trust and encourage the reporting of illegal firearm activity, youth development programs, investing in education, vocational training, and mentorship programs to provide our young people with positive alternatives to crime and violence.
He further highlighted technological measures and public engagement as vital pillars of success.
Firearms marking and tracing, utilizing technology to track the origin of illegal firearms, which is crucial for investigation and prosecution. Public awareness campaigns, educating the public about the dangers of illegal firearms and encouraging them to play an active role in creating safer communities.
Recognizing that combating illegal firearms transcends the capabilities of government agencies alone, Skerritt appealed to the broader society.
Nonetheless, Chair, we are aware that the fight against illegal firearms is not just the responsibility of law enforcement. It is a shared responsibility. We know that we must all work together, government agencies, civil societies, faith-based organizations, and individual citizens to create a culture of peace and nonviolence.
He concluded with a resolute charge to fellow delegates and communities across the hemisphere.
Let us collaboratively, as we commemorate this International Day, renew our commitment to rid our communities of firearms. Let us work tirelessly to protect our citizens, preserve our peace, and build a safer, more prosperous future. Let us send a clear message. Gun violence has no place in our societies, no place in our hemisphere, and no place on our earth.
The OAS's commemoration reaffirms the critical importance of uniting across borders and sectors to stem the tide of illicit firearms and the violence that follows, with St. Kitts and Nevis standing firmly in that collective resolve. In regional news, missing girl in Guyana found dead in hotel pool triggering protests, News Source Guyana reports.
The search for 11-year-old Adriana Young ended sadly when her lifeless body was found in the pool of the Doubleday Hotel at Tushin on the east bank of Essequibo. The discovery triggered widespread protests and the storming of the hotel by angry residents. The building was then set on fire. The family of the young girl reported her missing after she vanished while at the hotel with relatives. A police report was filed as the family demanded searches be done of the hotel property. The police initially asked the family and other persons to go home last night, but they kept watch and never budged. Late last night, in an initial statement, the Guyana Police Force claimed that a young girl was captured on CCTV footage going into a car that the police force claimed the owner told them he had rented to a man named Orlando. However, that statement has since been disputed by the police force itself after the girl's body was found in the hotel's pool. Family members demanded that the hotel be searched, and when those searches did not begin immediately, the protest started. Human Services Minister Dr. Vindhya Prasad visited the scene, and she demanded that the hotel be shut down completely and sniffer dogs be brought in to aid the search for little Adriana.
Will spare no effort to get to the bottom of this. The proprietors at the Lenore Police Station, we have asked that the building be shut down. There is a move to have some sniffer dogs here. The intelligence from the police will come. more police officers will be here, and we have asked that the family select persons to go in with these when they come and again search the building top to bottom. We are not asking people to leave because I understand very well how disturbed they are. We are, but just to be a little calm and patient because we're going to be here with the people. We understand we have lost a child in this community. I understand very well. But just to be calm and be patient so at least we can get things ramped up and escalated.
About an hour later, the girl's body suddenly appeared in the same pool where multiple searches overnight and this morning had unearthed nothing. The discovery of the lifeless body of the 11-year-old with what appeared to be bruises on her hands and feet brought loud screams and streams of tears to many of those at the scene, including her mother and other family members.
Come, get up for me now. Come, get up. Come. Get up.
Within minutes, as the girl's body was removed from the property, the entire hotel was set ablaze, and hundreds of residents came out in a loud protest, demanding justice for the young girl. The dead girl's father, while holding back tears, said he wants justice for his child. He said he never left the area, even as the police wanted them to go home, because he said he had a feeling that his daughter was still in the building. It was that feeling that turned out to be true.
I tell the major, my daughter's in there, and the major was listening to me this morning when I tell them, you see for yourself for my daughter went all the time. You see why talking all the time is a lie. And the police that come and chase me from here last night. And the police have, you know it's less than the police have put me through, and nothing is up with that body they lock up inside there. The police have charged the building 4 or 5 times. I never go in the building. I never go in the building. The police charge the building more than 5 times. I tell the police when I don't start me that still in the back.
No, you're fine.
And you refuse to move. Why did you refuse to move? You said your daughter. What made you get this feeling that your daughter's still in there? I tell you, since I come here yesterday, my belly tell me my daughter's in there. You hear? Since yesterday, my daughter barely tell me she's in there.
How you made her understand that she's in there? How you found her?
They bring she and throw she in the pool. That's what they do. They bring her and throw her in the pool. Did you get an opportunity to see the pool at any point in time?
Last night Travis Chaser went to see the pool.
We searched the pool this morning.
You searched the pool this morning?
We searched the pool after 6 this morning with police.
I know, but
I didn't went there. We will have 6 of my family search the whole building. I was standing right there watching them because the pool is right there. And nobody didn't saw a body. Here, and you check it after work. After 10. After 10. But 10. 7 minutes around 10. Me that body appear. Just so magically appear in the pool. Dead.
President Irfan Ali announced that a special investigation will be conducted into the girl's death. An independent foreign pathologist is scheduled to arrive in the country to conduct a detailed autopsy. The protests have been ongoing in the Tushin area, with the hotel and nearby properties belonging to the owners completely gutted by fire.
Sexual misconduct allegations rock St. Lucia Police Force. DBS St. Lucia has that story.
Acting Police Commissioner WINN has provided an update regarding the ongoing investigations into allegations of sexual misconduct involving a senior officer of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. According to God, there are 4 allegations with 4 separate investigations, 2 of which have been completed.
The very same investigator who started off the process, he submitted the 2 files through his line of supervision. He has submitted a recommendation to me. I have read the recommendation I have spoken to his supervisor, and his supervisor also agrees with his investigation, and I also am in agreement with with the recommendations of his investigations.
However, God says that out of an abundance of caution, he has referred the 2 files to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the DPP. God says this is to allow the DPP, Dasrian Green, to examine the files and make his recommendations to God on the matter. God added that the officer still remains on duty. On the matter of the sexual harassment policy, God says that it is currently a draft, thus has not been implemented within the force. However, he says that the final meeting of the steering committee responsible for the policy took place about 3 weeks ago.
So we should be seeing this policy being brought to official policy within the entire public service. It's a policy that is needed. Now, it's not to say that there is absolutely no sexual harassment policy in the public service, The public service is guided by clear rules in regards to how one set of people deal with another. But of course, to codify it and to make it more resilient, we need to put it in that kind of form and fashion, and we are working towards that.
God's comments were made during a police press conference on Thursday. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoot reporting.
We now bring you these international reports.
The UN has called on India and Pakistan to exercise maximum restraint as each side threatens the other in the wake of Tuesday's attack in disputed Kashmir. Police say they've identified 3 gunmen from Pakistan who they think were responsible for the murders of 26 Indian tourists. Delhi has since suspended a water-sharing treaty with Pakistan, and they've closed the main land border between the 2 countries. Well, we've got coverage from both sides. Arunaday Mukherjee is in Delhi and Azadeh Mashiri is in Islamabad. Azadeh, there are real fears of an escalation here. You've been speaking to the Defence Minister of Pakistan. Tell us what he said.
Well, the Pakistani government's position is clear. They reject any allegations that Pakistan was involved in this attack. In fact, in a largely symbolic move, the Senate passed a resolution rejecting those allegations, calling it a campaign by India, and also condemning the unilateral suspension of the water treaty. It says that that move is unlawful. Now, when we asked the Pakistani defense minister about this, he said that Pakistan could not take it lying down. This treaty has been in place since 1960, and it governs the Indus River sharing system, the sharing of that water system. And it guarantees the water flow from 3 western rivers to Pakistan. And so we asked the defense minister how Pakistan views any move to halt or divert the flow of water from the Indus River. And this is what he said.
It will be a declaration of war, You are actually depriving us of water, which is our right, which was acknowledged by India as it is written in that treaty. We want that treaty to stay alive.
Now, India accuses Pakistan of being indirectly involved in the attack because it accuses Pakistani militants based on Pakistani soil of being behind this attack. Now, we put this to the defense minister and asked him whether he views Pakistan as having any responsibility to monitor or contain militants on its soil, especially given the history of attacks by militant groups operating in Pakistan and then also operating in Indian-administered Kashmir. And he denied, despite US intelligence or Indian intelligence to the contrary, that any of these groups operate today.
They are redundant and they are like...
What does redundant mean?
Redundant means that they are inactive. They have become extinct,
But do you therefore think that any sort of US bounties that are on anyone's heads or someone like Hafiz Saeed, you believe that these are just outdated? Is that what you're saying?
They are outdated. They are part of the
US
archives.
should get rid of it.
Yeah, they are part of the archives now,
Now, the stakes are high. India and Pakistan both claim all of Kashmir, and they fought 2 wars in a limited conflict over it. And the last time we got to a point where there were Indian airstrikes, where there was any form of back and forth military action, was in 2019. At this point, the defense minister said we're still in the realm of diplomatic tit for tat, but the possibility of that escalation is there. As he said, he views, and Pakistan views, any action when it comes to this treaty as a declaration of war, and will be monitoring what's happening with that water flow very closely. And currently, the government has told us that no third party, no country, and the World Bank is not mediating this in any way right now. So what happens in the next few days and weeks could determine whether this escalates into a full-blown conflict.
Asade, for the moment, thank you very much. Let's speak to Arunaday Mukherjee in Delhi. An absolute rejection there by Pakistan that they are involved in this at all, Arunaday. So where's India's evidence?
Well, India has repeatedly, over several decades, has made this allegation that Pakistan has backed separatist forces which have fomented unrest in Indian-administered Kashmir. And it's the same story every time. India makes those allegations and Pakistan denies it. But in this case, what is very significant and what makes the situation a little more unique is the scale of what we saw this time around in Indian-administered Kashmir. This is the first time, in a sense, in recent years that we've seen this kind of an attack take place and directed at civilians, really. And that's something that has left the country shocked and also angry, and which is why there is growing pressure on the Indian government, especially Prime Minister Modi's party, the BJP, which leads an alliance at the government, that they must appear to do something and send a very strong message. So we've heard that tough talk from Prime Minister Narendra Modi and members of his cabinet. Prime Minister Modi himself saying that they will pursue the attackers till the ends of earth. What does that essentially mean? What will that translate into is what the concern really is, as these two nuclear armed neighbors get into a sort of a war of words. Where does it go from here? We've seen in the past, as Azadeh was also mentioning, that in 2016 there was a terror attack in Indian-administered Kashmir, which India responded with what it called were surgical strikes in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. In 2019 there was another terror attack in Indian-administered Kashmir, to which India once again responded with limited strikes in Pakistani territory. So when we speak to analysts, they say, look, the precedent is very much there if you take the past as evidence. So this time around, you have to match that in a sense. The government has to match that because they've already done it in the past. And given the scale of what we saw this time around, what is India going to do next? That is where the concern lies.
Apple has a strategy for avoiding President Trump's steep tariffs on China, making more of its iPhones in India. A source told Reuters the tech giant is holding urgent talks with manufacturers Foxconn and Tata with the goal of producing most of its U.S.-bound iPhones in India by the end of 2026. Apple and Foxconn did not immediately respond to requests for comment, while Tata declined to comment. Apple sells over 60 million iPhones in the U.S. annually, with roughly 80% of them currently made in China. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has in recent years promoted his country as a smartphone manufacturing hub. While iPhone manufacturing costs in India are 5 to 8% higher than in China, according to the Reuters source, Trump's tariffs on Indian imports are significantly less than those on Chinese goods. The Trump administration this month imposed duties of 26% on imports from India, much lower than the more than 100% China was facing at the time. Washington has since paused most duties for 3 months, except for those on China. The administration has since signaled it is open to de-escalating the trade war between the U.S. and China. The Financial Times first reported about Apple's plan on Friday. The move comes after Apple already shipped some 600 tons of iPhones worth $2 billion to the U.S. in March in an effort to beat Trump's tariffs.
You were listening to the WINN FM 98.9 newscast. Our top stories were: Caribbean Border Control officers complete CSME attachment program in Guyana; building bankable businesses, a new financial literacy program for entrepreneurs in St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts Nevis marks Inter-American Day Against Illicit Firearms Trafficking at OAS. Missing girl in Guyana found dead in hotel pool triggering protests. Sexual misconduct allegations rock St. Lucia police force. Internationally, tensions rise between India and Pakistan.
Thank you for listening.